Welcome to the podcast. We do recover with Jared Miller, your host.
And I'm Dr. Terry Sellers, your co-host.
This is a podcast about recovery from addiction.
We want to talk about what successful recovery can look like.
Brought to you by Steps Recovery Center and the St. George Hilton Garden Inn.
Good morning, Vietnam. For those of you that are Robin Williamson's fans, post in the comments. Wait, Robin Williams. Thank you, Sean, for correcting me on that. Post in the comments what movie that's off of. So I'm back. I'm your host, Jared Miller. We're rocking out episode 54 here. We got 57. Wow. Sean, when we do these restarts, it really just throws my brain for a loop. Anyways, episode 57. And I asked a friend to come on here. I'm super excited. Jesse Salmon. I've been stoked ever since we put you on the calendar, invited you on. This is going to be awesome, man.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited to be here.
Good.
Chop it up.
Good. And I hope that you're okay with it. I don't want to offend you. If most of the time people come on and they tell their stories, right? And my kind of vision of this is have you come on, let's talk about some of the cool stuff you're doing in recovery, what life today looks like, maybe talk about some exercise, just have it be a good old-fashioned dudes podcast.
I'm with it 100%.
Nice,
Sure. Yeah,
dude.
I'm
Nice. You're so calm, bro. You got your chi about you today.
Had to.
Yeah. Well, first let's check in. So, Sean, what's new? What's going on in your world, man?
Nothing. Thanks for asking.
Oh, come
Appreciate
on.
it.
Come on.
No, I got 4 big old steaks to put on the grill tonight.
I'm right.
Nice.
So I'm super excited.
I'm coming over.
Okay. All
yeah.
right.
Let me know what time.
All right. 9.
That would be after he's done.
Yeah. I'm not Dino. I'm not just
I'll
going to eat
save
the
you some
bones.
gristle.
All right. Well, fair enough.
No, not much. Just been a normal week here. Nothing special.
Cool.
Just I guess that's okay. When nothing happens, it's okay.
Yeah. No. Hey, that's good, man. Status quo. Jesse Salmon. He set the bar pretty low, man. What's new and good? What's going on in your world?
Man, training, recovery, family, and I don't know, just taking it easy day by day, enjoying life as it comes, participating.
I love it. Actually, I heard you got a pretty big fight coming up.
Yeah, man, we didn't talk before this, but they canceled it.
Did they?
Yeah, it was going to be my
Did
first.
Conor McGregor bail out on you, bro?
Man, see, he weighs 155, and I fight at heavyweight, so it wouldn't have been fair.
So he was scared. He was scared as
No, so it had nothing to do with the fight. This is the first time anything like this has ever happened to me. I've had fights set up and people back out. I've had people show up to the weigh-ins, face off, and then not come back.
Really?
But for this particular instance, the Utah Athletic Commission canceled the licensing for Mountain Force going forward, practicing in Utah, period. And now, so I'm real close with a lot of different people in the fighting community, coaches, different promotions. Yeah. And, I had, keeping their names out of it, some people contact me just basically saying that there was some shady stuff going on.
Wow.
And
so it had nothing to do with COVID. It wasn't like a COVID thing.
No, it had to do with shady stuff that was going on with the promotion itself. And so, this was big for me because it was the first time that I was going to be fighting in front of my people, in front of
it was going to be in Hurricane.
Yeah. And it was all for my friend who was passing away. We were raising money and stuff like that. And, it was going to be really cool. Had a lot of things going on towards it. I was the main event. First time I ever been a main event. I was fighting for a title, but it got scratched for, to be honest, I really don't know the reasons besides people telling me that there was some shady stuff going on with the promotion itself. And,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
This
is a month out. You know what I mean? We've all been in fight camp training our butts off, hours a day.
Yeah.
And
DJ was a previous guest on this podcast.
And there were 14 fights, and there were, all those people that were notified through an email saying that it's not happening.
That's crazy, man. We got to get to the bottom of this thing. That's not right.
Yeah, no, definitely not. St. George News was going to interview me and the co-main event. Her name's Heather Torres. She's savage to say the least. And she fights out of Fusion MMA, and they were just going to, interview about the process and the fights and, what we do to prepare and everything like that. And, I had to talk to them over at St. George News and let them know, hey, you know what, it's not going on. And they're like, well, is there a story there?
You're like, yeah, please check it out. Let's find out.
I'm sure there is, but I don't know. I don't have any solid answers or anything like that. It was definitely last minute. It was totally abrupt. I mean, and, I collected thousands upon thousands of dollars, and yeah, it just got washed. But
dang, man, that's too bad. Talk to me a little bit about why was it so meaningful? So you've talked about you were the main event, right? You were fighting for a title.
Yeah.
I think that, obviously I kind of know the answer, but I'm going to pull it out of you.
No, of course, for sure.
If you're comfortable,
most definitely.
Why was it so meaningful to you?
So this fight had everything to do with my friend Devin Koja. And so me and him started this journey over a year ago.
What journey is that?
The journey of recovery.
I love it.
And sobriety and just living a different way. And so much so from jail to rehab to drug court to working out together to doing everything. He was my right-hand man. One of his dreams, so we would sit up late at nights and we would talk, you know what I mean? People that get close talk, and we would talk about things that we wanted to accomplish, dreams that we wanted to chase, and things that we wanted to do together when we hit that next, phase or whatever.
Yeah, you're dreaming and scheming in a good way.
Yeah, no, for the first time.
Yeah, right.
And so one of his dreams were to just do one amateur MMA fight and kind of face that fear of hopping in the cage. The loneliest place in the world is in that cage, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got a dude across from you trying to kill you.
Yeah.
You got a ref that you hopefully will stop it before it happens.
It's all out war between two people.
And a lot of people just want to prove to themselves that they can do it. You know what I mean? And so I've been doing mixed martial arts for a long time and had a lot of previous fights. And I told him, look, I'll train you, man. We'll go do it together. We'll hop on a card. I know promoters. We'll do it. And so, it's hard to gauge how serious people are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Through the years, I found that out. And so he was one that I took a chance on and was like, hey, let's be friends, Yeah. And every step of the way he showed up, you know what I mean? In groups, in recovery, he wanted it. He wanted it like I wanted it. He had faced enough stuff in life that he wanted something different.
Yeah, he had that true internal motivation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so right away, he's like, hey, let's do that fight. And we were workout partners, and he showed up every day, and I started training him, and I got him a fight, and I fought on the same card. I brought 3 guys up there from different parts of Vegas and Utah, and I coached him and cornered him, and he did his first fight. He went through the whole process, fight camp, everything like that, showed up to the fight, and, the fight didn't go his way as far as his hand getting raised, but, dude, I just remember, him getting in there and him putting his hand up because I told him, I said, look, when you go to tap that man's hand out of respect, put your hand up.
Yeah.
Because that dude might pop you in your face. He doesn't have to
Right.
tap. He doesn't have to tap your hand.
Might hit you with a quick one.
And so he puts his hand up, he reaches out and does it, you know what I mean? And it ended quick. But after the fight, they hugged, you know what I mean? Told him how much he appreciated hopping in there with him. They became friends, which has been the case in most of my fights is dude, I've made lifelong friends,
Right. That mutual respect of battling it out.
Yeah.
Isn't that so funny? Because it's kind of that same way on the playground as kids, right?
Totally.
Yeah. You scrap with somebody and then they end up becoming your best friend.
And that was a case for them.
So why was it so tragic? Lead us into.
So he, right after our fight, we had support from down here in southern Utah. Massive amount of people came up to our fights to support healthiness and recovery, and just long and the short of it, dude, a bunch of people caught COVID, myself included.
Yeah.
And I believe it was from going to the fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do, for sure. Don't know that that's the case, but too many people walked out of there getting COVID. They were all in the same spot.
That actually attended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That attended. And so he had I got COVID. He got COVID at the same time, and his battle was harder, man. He had to go to the hospital and get put on a ventilator, and it was a month of him being on the ventilator, and he just got worse and worse. I moved his family into my home because they had nowhere to go, and he didn't make it. I went there with his fiance, and we pulled the plug on him. When all of his organs failed, he had doubled his weight in, you know what I mean? And it was good to let him go at that time, man. I felt like we held on longer than we should have.
Do you blame yourself at all?
No.
Good.
No,
Good.
no, I don't. Here's the thing: is
carry
like
none of that.
we did everything that we wanted to do over this last year. I don't have not one regret. I didn't not show up. I didn't not be his friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we did everything that we set out to do together. We chased our wildest dreams. We showed up for each other when we needed it. We had real talk. We did everything that we wanted to do. And this is like the first death that I don't have any regrets. You know what I mean? Like, from beginning to end, dude, it was epic.
Yeah, man. Koji was a good dude. My heart goes out, man.
Yeah.
That's too bad. And I'm sorry to hear that the fight got canceled.
Yeah, it is what it is. But so, to answer your question in a long-term way, everything that this fight was, all the money that I was making or raising from ticket sales that I just made period throughout the fight was going to his 2-year-old daughter that he left behind and his fiance.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was so important to me to just be able to do what he would have done if the tables were reversed. Like, that dude would have done anything for my family.
That's rad, bro.
That's
That's a noble thing for you to do.
So we'll figure it out.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
man. I totally respect that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So episode 57, part 1 is brought to you by Steps Recovery Centers, where addiction ends and healing begins. If you or a loved one need help, give them a call. That number is going to be 801-800-8142. They do a fantastic job. Again, don't hesitate. Call the number 801-800-8142. Jesse, you're a pretty big guy.
I mean, a little bit.
What size, if we're going to get you a hoodie, right?
Yeah.
Because another sponsor we have
Yeah.
is Recovery Strong.
Which is really solid gear for what
I
I'm
feel
seeing.
the sweater, bro. It's so nice. It's like such soft
Yeah,
material.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm not
it's
even
crazy,
mad at
right?
that. Yeah.
So let's get you a hoodie. Let's go to the website. Go to recoverystrong.com. You click on their products. And right now they're featuring everything on their site, guys. Everything on their site. You use promotion code WeRecover25. You can get T-shirts. You can get the hat. You can get any hoodies. What size hoodie would you?
XL for sure, yeah.
All right, take a look. We got we got a black one. We got some red one, blue, this gray one. What one can I get for you, Jesse?
Man, I'm thinking, if you don't mind, I'm going to need that same one there, Jared.
The gray?
Yeah.
The gray's, yeah, man, it's rad, right?
Yeah, that one's nice.
I love it, dude. They even got the little stitch on the side.
Yeah.
Like, it's high quality material.
Yeah, no, it's no over, and it's made right.
Yeah,
I see that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
like
So
that.
XL, gray,
Yep.
done, bro.
Right
After
on,
we
man.
get done,
For sure.
we'll get your shipping address and we'll ship you out one.
That's awesome, man.
Thanks to Recovery Strong. They're all about fighting addiction and strengthening recovery. We appreciate those guys. So let's jump into it. So I know, obviously, you're a dude that works out.
Yeah.
In fact, some may tease you because you don't even eat like candy.
Yeah. I mean, that hasn't always been the case, but it's just, I'm
Recently, you were getting ready for a fight, though.
yeah, so it's been really strict, you know what I mean? I watch my weight. I'm just on a different path, you know what I mean? So yeah, I have been strict, and
That's dedication, man.
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. You know what though? You know what I found with sugar is, like, obviously right now I'm eating sugar. Like I need you, bro. I'm going to hire you to do some training with me to get me back into shape. And we'll kind of get to exercise in a minute, but the thing I've noticed I can respect that, because I've noticed, like, when I eat sugar for like 2 weeks after I eat it, I crave it.
Totally.
But if I can go like a little while without it,
Yeah.
I don't even think about it.
I mean, and I think there's a time and place for everything too. Like, I'm not against it and stuff like that. Like, there's,
You're
cheat
not the sugar
days.
Nazi?
No, not at all. I love, it's just what's important. You know what I mean? Like, I want to give anything and everything I'm doing the very best me. And so why would I cheat myself in every aspect of it? The nutrition side is just as important as my fighting style.
I like it, dude. I like the dedication. You're going
So-
places, man. You got that dedication. So I've come up with kind of a thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, let's do it.
No excuses November.
All right.
Okay.
I'm liking the sound of that.
It's kind of like 75 hard, right? You're familiar with 75
Yes, sir.
hard? So it's kind of like 75 hard. And I've kind of come up with it specifically because you're a guest
All right.
and you're into, athletics and working out and recovery. And so here it is. November challenge. It's called No Excuses November. It starts on the 1st. It goes until the 30th. Here are the 6 challenges. Read 5 pages of recovery or relationship literature, like a book, every day.
Okay.
That equals out to be 150 pages at the end of the month. Totally doable, yes?
Doable.
Totally doable. So there's one, starting off easy. Exercise for 60 minutes, 4 days a week, every week.
Doable.
Totally doable, right?
Yeah.
60 minutes, 4 days a week, every week. Okay, so there's 2. 3, attend and share. There's a kicker for a lot of people.
Okay.
In 3 fellowship meetings a week, every week.
Okay.
Okay?
Getting out of the comfort zone.
Yep.
All
Pushing them socially, right?
That's where the growth is.
Build
though.
that fellowship, that community. So 4 is drink 1 gallon of water every day, every drop.
Okay, now that's the hard one right there.
Why would that be hard for you?
No, not necessarily for me, just in general. Drinking a gallon of water is it's hard.
It's harder than you think,
yes,
right?
I've been there, done that, and it's you have to have some dedication there, man. It's not the start, it's the finish.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
I totally know what you
continuing
mean.
it.
I totally
And
know
so
what you mean.
yeah, that's one of the best things you could do is hydrate yourself for sure, no matter what you're doing. But yeah, that's in my experience. It's
But
a tough one.
it'll be good. It'll be
hands
flush
down.
out those toxins,
Hands
man.
down.
I love it. All right, so let's get to 5. All right, come on, phone. Work with me here. So 5 is participate in 2 service activities a week every week.
Oh man, that's
Could be
very,
community
very
service.
beneficial.
Could be doing service for your parents. Could
Yeah.
be doing service for your wife or your significant other, right? Service for your kids. 2 different forms of a service a week. And then the 6th one is meditate for at least 10 minutes every day.
Yeah, that's a good one, right there.
Yeah.
That's one that that I need to be better at for sure. But like you're covering all the bases, man. Like mindfulness, spirituality. Getting outside of yourself, doing something for yourself. Like you're hitting all of those. That's a good month.
As a counselor,
Yeah.
we're all about biopsychosocial. So
Okay.
you work on the body physically,
Got it.
psychologically, your emotions, right?
Yeah.
Thoughts and emotions, and then of course socially. And so I designed this No Excuses November based on that kind of criteria, biopsychosocial.
I like that.
So here's the kicker. If you miss one day, or if you miss any one of these 6 a day or a week, you have to double up the next day or double up the next week.
All right.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, this is accepted.
Yeah, totally.
Challenge accepted.
Nice. No Excuses November, everybody. I will post the criteria in the comments below on this episode. Hopefully you guys can join us. Feel free to take progress pics.
Yeah, you got to
Tag the podcast. I love it.
You gotta get some people on board with that are giving you some progress, and then have somebody on who completes it or whatever. I want to hear that.
Yes.
That would be impressive. That's a little journey in a month right there.
So you're in?
Oh, for sure.
Nice. No Excuses November's on.
Yeah.
Sean, you're in too, right? Oh, come on.
That was a hard no.
All right. So yeah, sweet. I'm excited for that. So talk to me a little bit about, obviously this podcast is about recovery.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit kind of about your journey. Like, what was it for you? In other words, what was your DOC?
So my drug of choice started with weed and ended with meth and heroin. I took a long journey that started from 12 years old.
12 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rough time. And never put together over a year clean and sober until this last year.
Since 12.
Since 12, yeah. No,
Wow.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. Yeah.
So I've heard people say addiction is a basically a way to cope or deal with some kind of external problem.
Yeah.
Right? So all addiction basically is an attempt to fix some kind of problem.
Okay.
What would you say that was for you? Kind of what you think about it. So like for me, I can identify that loss was a big thing in my life. When my dad passed away, brother passed away, wife asked me for a divorce. So I may have messed around recreationally, but I wasn't really truly a hard addict prior to that.
Got it.
Okay. So once that kind of happened, the addiction really took hold. Can you identify what it exactly was you were kind of trying to cope with or deal with?
I mean, loss would be number one. You know what I mean? I've been in and out of my house since I was 15 years old, you know, from a young age, sleeping on couches, stuff like that. And for a long time, all I had was friends, you know what I mean? And so 44 of my friends have died. I've watched 22 of them pass away in front of me, and then 13 have died in my arms. So, like, throughout my whole life, death has been something that I didn't deal with well. You know what I mean?
How many of those were from substance use?
Most of them.
Really?
Some were for guns and other things, just the lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That came along with that. But, yeah, was drugs involved in one way or another and all that? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the social piece was a big thing for you growing up.
most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like that had to be, especially, I mean, you don't lose 40, what was the number, 44?
Yeah, 44.
44 friends
Yeah.
from, without something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Got you. At what point do you really feel like it crossed over into daily use?
So daily use would have definitely started at 16. Yeah.
Really?
So, like, when I left my house when I was 15, like, I didn't know what to do. I kept going to school, but I didn't know. So I started selling drugs. You know what I mean? Started selling weed and stuff. And, but, you know, that becomes not enough. And you go on to the next thing. And it kind of is like in that cycle of, okay, this is what they're doing. Okay, this is what I need to get. You know what I mean? And when it went past marijuana, those things require a daily use, you know,
Yeah.
Xanax, pills, all
Otherwise
those
you
things.
go through the withdrawals
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
all that
so
stuff.
so daily at 16 on, you know, and that's also when trouble with the law started. So anything more than marijuana, those consequences started getting worse and more, and
Yeah, sure.
you know what I mean?
Sure.
And,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So at what point, how old are you now?
I'm 36. Yeah,
36.
Yep.
Man,
yeah,
that's
Long-
that's a life.
long
That's a
time.
lifetime of,
And, you know,
running and gunning.
there were periods of time where, you know what I mean, like I did great and stuff like that, and they normally came after incarceration, or I moved here in 2011 and
from where?
from Oakland, California.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where I'm from, out there in the Bay Area.
You're a Cali boy.
Yeah, well, half my life in Vegas, half my life in the Bay Area, and mom in Vegas, dad in California. But when I moved down here, it was the first time I was ever introduced to recovery. And though, you know what I mean, it wasn't fully successful, I still gained like a lot of tools and things like that. So I put together,
The seeds were planted.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and it was the start of, you know what I mean, where I'm at today. And very grateful for St. George, Utah, and like the people here.
What age were you when you moved here?
So I was, I think, 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I relapsed, you know, once, twice, whatever. But 4 years in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, you know what I mean? And that's where I started finding some success. I opened a business out here. I opened a mechanic shop, and it did phenomenal. You know, it was recovery based that started, and then we got licensing and we did it all right, you know, insurance, everything like that. And it provided for my family. I had my daughter down here, and she's 8 years old, and she had everything that she needed. You know what I mean? It was the first time I was successful in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was really cool.
That's awesome, man. I'm sure being around that community, like you said, it may not have taken right immediately,
Yeah.
but over time, those seeds kind of get planted,
Most definitely.
right? I love whenever I'm meeting with somebody who's coming into treatment and they're like, oh, 30 days, I'm out of here. It's like, how long you been using for? Years. Okay, so in what warped reality do you fix in 30 days with habits and things you've been doing for years? But anyway, so we're coming up on a break here.
Right on.
Episode 57's had Jesse Salmon on here. He's come on. We've talked a little bit about fighting.
Yeah.
That's too bad that got canceled.
Yeah.
That's all right. We're going to get to
It'll
a little
happen
bit
when
more.
It's supposed to.
That's right. We're going to talk a little bit more about kind of Jesse and his life and experience with around recovery in addiction. We're also going to talk about some exercise stuff. Super excited for it.
Yeah.
We got about 19 seconds here.
Right on, man.
Anything else you want to throw on here right at the very end?
No, man, I'm going to leave that one to you.
All right, join us for part 2 in episode 57. This one's been a little crazy, but it's been fun, man.
No doubt.
You are listening to We Do Recover with Jared Miller and co-hosted by Dr. Terry Sellers. We'll be right back after this short break with more of We Do Recover with Jared Miller, sponsored by Steps Recovery Center and the Hilton Garden Inn.
I'm Desmond Lomax, one of the clinical executives here at Steps Recovery, and once you become with the Steps family, you're just a part of the Steps family. A lot of us have overcome substances, overcome addiction, and now we're able to help other people. Second of all, we're also going to help you in a way where you can afford to be helped. Third of all, we're going to give you the same quality that many organizations are charging 2 to 3 times, and it's more about you than it is about our organization.
We welcome you back to We Do Recover with Jared Miller, co-hosted by Dr. Terry Sellers. Brought to you by Steps Recovery Center and the St. George Hilton Garden Inn. And now with part 2 of our podcast, Jared Miller and Dr. Terry Sellers.
All right, today I am riding by myself except for our guest, Jesse Salmon. Dr. Sellers is out of town. He'll be here next week. Me and him are going to hash out a topic, just me and him. It's been a while since I've done a podcast with him. Kind of missed the guy, you know?
Good guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
In fact, you know Dr. Sellers.
I had the opportunity to meet him, and he's very knowledgeable. Good guy.
Yeah.
Enjoyed hearing him just speak.
The thing I love about it is if somebody who's had that level of success in life, right? OBGYN, like successful business, making great money, can go through the disease of addiction and come out the other side. Like, it just goes to show this thing affects everybody.
The hope that gives you is, you know what I mean? It just is like, okay, well, I can do whatever I set my mind to. You know what I mean? If this guy faced the same things that I went through and was able to do all of these things, that gives you hope, and that's awesome.
That's what it's about. That's what you being on here today is about.
No doubt. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm hoping through a little bit of your story, but also just seeing the cool stuff that you're doing in recovery, you're going to inspire and give a lot of people hope.
That's my goal, man, is like chasing your wildest. It is possible to chase your wildest dreams. You know what I mean? And for me, mixed martial arts is my wildest dream, to take it as far as, I'm allowed to, and just show people along the way that it doesn't matter what you faced or what you've been through. You can still do whatever it is that you want. I don't care if it's painting in, New Zealand, whatever you want to do, go do it.
Yeah, man, get after it.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love it. So episode 57, part 2 is brought to you by the Hilton Garden Inn. It's always sunny and bright at the Hilton Garden Inn. If you're, looking forward to a getaway, wanting to experience beautiful, sunny St. George, Utah, just go to Google, type in a Google search, look up Hilton Garden Inn, St. George, Utah. They have great amenities. It's a beautiful place. I always say every time I'm on here, every week, I know it's getting old, but I love that it's so clean, man. You walk in and it's just crystal clean.
It
nice
is
and
a
fresh.
nice hotel.
Yeah.
I don't owe any allegiance to Hilton, and I'm saying it is a nice
I
hotel.
love it, man. Yep. It's true. It's way true.
Yeah.
And it's cool that they like support recovery,
Totally.
because that's where like a lot of conventions, fellowship conventions,
They're there.
right? They do it
Yeah.
right there at the Hilton. So
Yeah.
shout out to those guys. We love those guys. So before the break, you were kind of talking about, we're getting to know you a little bit,
Yeah.
and kind of the backstory behind the man that you are sitting in front of us
Yeah.
today. So you moved to St. George at 26.
Yeah, 27. Yeah.
27. Kind of walk us through that. Like, get us up to the point where basically you kind of came to this change that you're about today, and what does that look like for you?
So, I mean, there's so much, but the gist of it, after me and the mother of my daughter split, I went on like a 6-year runner.
Wow. 6 years.
So we met in recovery. We met in the rooms, me and Brittany. And
Who 13 step 2?
she 13-stepped me.
Get out of here. For real?
Yeah. She has 13 years clean and sober.
Okay.
but it was definitely a mutual thing. I'm not mad at it. The best thing that ever happened to me was my daughter, for sure.
Yeah,
She
man.
was definitely meant to be down here. And so it was after that, I fell away from the rooms and recovery in general and whatnot. And it took me about 6 years to get back to where I'm at today and getting incarcerated. But here's the thing is like, I can like truly say that I'm grateful
Yeah.
for all those things and
Looking back, right?
and mean it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like all of those things led me to here today, being on your podcast. And if I didn't go through all of those things, who's to say that I would be ready or here right now? And so it took what it took. You know what I mean? And
Can I ask you a question? Because that's
Yeah.
a common theme. People say like when they lapse, right? And they have a relapse and go back out is the terminology that we
Yeah,
use. A big theme is that they stopped attending fellowship meetings. They stopped being a part of the recovery community. Why do you think that's so important? Get your take on it, and then I'll give you mine.
I mean, for me, it's the connectivity, staying connected and with people doing similar things. You know what I mean? As you, I guess I haven't thought too far into it other than that. But when I stopped doing what was successful, you know what I mean? And kind of left that behind, I didn't practice it every day. It became less important and so on and so forth. And and then getting back to it seemed so much harder the further I was away from it.
Oh, sure. The paranoia, the shame, the
Yeah.
guilt, am I going to be judged?
And
Absolutely.
definitely, and that kept me out just as much as I did myself. To where eventually this mountain was so big that I couldn't do it by myself. I couldn't pull myself out of this hole that I dug myself into. It took an act of God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So I think one thing that I've heard, I don't remember where I've heard it, so I'm not trying to rip anybody off. I'm just repeating it. I'm repurposing it.
yeah,
Is environment will trump will every day of the week. In other words, the environment that you put yourself in, the type of people you hang out with, the locations you hang out, you know what I mean? The activities that you guys are doing, like that environment will overcome anybody's will if you're in a toxic environment
people,
any day of the
places,
week.
things.
Right.
Yeah,
And I also think too, oftentimes people get to the point where sometimes it can become redundant.
totally.
And that's why I think it's important for people to continue to rework steps.
Yeah.
Like, look, man, I'm just going to say it. And I may offend some people, but there's a lot of people out there. Like, do you remember when it was cool to like buy skateboard shoes?
Totally.
Right? The
Yeah.
Osiris's,
The
and
DCs.
the DCs.
Some of my friends still wear those. Shout out to Tyson.
So I kind of compare it. I tell the people that I work with, don't be that guy
Yeah,
that buys the skateboarding shoes when you don't skateboard.
right.
Like, don't be a poser.
Yeah,
Like, if you're going to go to the meetings, work the steps,
Totally.
get a sponsor, do the things that are suggested to do. You know what I mean? Stay connected, stay plugged in. Like, don't be that guy that just shows up just a 13th step and see what cute girls are in the meetings. Like do the work, bro.
yeah.
Open the book.
Same thing as anything like we were preaching about before. I mean, you're going to get whatever you put into it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Absolutely. So anyways, and then also I think another thing happens is, whatever, they kind of are 1 foot in, maybe a little bit poser status. And then for some reason, it's kind of like giving birth to a baby. I mean, I've never given birth to a baby, so don't look at me too crazy, bro. But I think oftentimes you forget the pain
Oh, yes.
and the discomfort and the let's just be real, the walk through hell that got you out,
Totally.
right? It's like a mom, she gives birth to a baby. After a while, she forgets the pain that she went through.
Yeah.
And I think if we don't stay in recovery, if we don't stay in those circles, if we don't see the newcomers coming in and be reminded like, oh yeah, I've experienced that. Oh yeah, I know what they're going through. We forget, man.
Yeah.
We forget about that pain. We forget how tough it really was. And we need that reminder.
Yes.
I learn more from newcomers,
Mm.
sometimes more than I do people that have been around forever.
It's raw and real and new.
And in your face.
Yes.
You can't deny it when somebody comes in and they're dope sick
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, man, that dude is kicking right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, this time around, like I didn't have any scapegoat. I didn't have anything to curb the withdrawals. Like when I got incarcerated,
So that's how you got clean. You got locked up.
well, yeah, dude, like I tried wrapping the seatbelt around my neck in the cop car on the way to the jail. You know what I mean?
You're that miserable.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was the cops' fault. Those jerks. Why did they arrest you?
But I mean, that led to me being put on suicide watch, and then on suicide watch, I kicked, and then 2 days in, my heart stopped, and they had to take me to the hospital, and I had been out running and gunning for so long that I didn't even know the person that brought me back to life in the hospital was my sister. I didn't even know she was a nurse. I had been going so long. My sister had started and finished nursing school.
And she was the one that revived you.
And she's the one that revived me.
That's insane.
I know.
That's insane.
And coming full circle, like I have got the chance to thank her. And like she seen me at my lowest low. I weigh 220 right now, man. I walked into that hospital at 160.
Yeah.
Just skin and I mean that's
She probably didn't physically recognize you.
No, I mean she knew.
Right.
She knew because she knew I was doing bad or whatever. But like that was my low. That was the start of, like this.
Yeah.
But it was that important for me to feel all of that, not to like get a Suboxone to feel better. Like I remember that.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
Me too.
All of that.
So I just got to throw out there, I was being sarcastic when I said it was the cop's fault. I totally was hoping that you would take the hook and be like, yeah, those jerks.
No.
Man, I was a tax-paying, productive member of society, and they were picking on me.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
But we do that, though.
Dude, I've had cops come up to me that, like, arrested me, and I see them at the gym, and they're like, I'm so proud of you, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like, they'll shake my hand before they're like, just won't even look at me. And these dudes are like, just keep doing it, man. And I'm like, dude, just like my thought on everything and everyone is just like, wow. So like, there's so much push there to like be better and continue and just like participate. So, and you know what I mean? I got a whole city behind me believing in me that I can do this. And that helps.
Absolutely.
Like truly it does. And so thank you for every cop that arrested me. I mean, you got me here today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you're rooting for me.
Absolutely. And I love that you still have a little bit of support, right?
Totally.
So talk to us a little bit about that. What are you involved in as far as the support that's program that you're kind of doing now?
Which one?
All the above, man.
So, I help coach at one dojo and I train at another. And so as far as Raven self-defense, that's where I go through my fight camps. That's where I help other guys and stuff like that. And this guy, Raven, dude, like he's the most kind-hearted guy ever. He runs Raven Self-Defense Academy out in Hurricane, Utah, and it's 320 West State Street.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, dude. He's he helps so many people well outside of the dojo. His philosophy is like, this is a way of life, and it's not just in the dojo that you're going to find success. And, big participator in Eastern philosophy, medicine, and meditation, and just all of these things that like have been a part of my journey and helping me. And he's even allowed me to start bringing in, people in recovery and like helping them through the dojo, finding something healthy to do.
I love it.
I mean, there's people that don't have money that come in there, and he's like, well, let's help you get a job.
Yeah.
Let's help you figure this out.
And let's set you up for success.
Yeah. And so it's like, dang, dude, like you're a good dude, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's part of these programs, these failure to launch programs, and like he just mentors, and he'll have me come in there and share my story. And like it's something that I'm super proud of to be a part of. You know what I mean?
That positive reinforcement is huge, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oftentimes people with the best intentions will preach to addicts. They think they can preach this thing away, right? Like, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you have so much potential. But really, encouragement is a far better motivator.
Totally.
Even if it's the littlest things.
Yeah.
Right? Even if it's just the littlest things.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's rad.
So that's one, dude. And I mean, I do go to meetings and stuff like that. Being a part of the fellowship of people doing the same thing has been like one of my biggest things. I'm in adult recovery court, which is also known as drug court. And this is the first structure that I have been allowed or afforded, let's say that, in my life to be able to change, to be able to do something different and like get a different result. Before I was left up to my own devices. You know what I mean? Figure it out. You're out of jail. Do something different.
And so, Sean, a couple podcasts ago, we talked about how Oregon is decriminalizing small amounts of all controlled substances, right? And he asked a question like, is it really helpful to basically force somebody into a program that maybe doesn't want to do it all the way?
Yeah.
And I pointed out that the hope is once they get done with adult court or AKA drug court, even if they choose to go back out, which I don't think you will, but just right, we're not talking about you specifically, just general person A. Even if they choose to go back out, hopefully they can look back and go, some of the happiest times in my life, when I actually had real self-identity, self-confidence, when I was actually having police officers come up to me in the gym and shake my hand, tell me to keep up the progress.
Yeah.
That's when I was the happiest.
And there's no doubt in my mind, like this last year in adult recovery court, I have been the most successful, not just like in one way, but in like every aspect that matters to me. You're talking about, the no excuses Novembers. It's the same thing. Like I've got all of those spiritual, emotional, physical, all of those things combined together as what has led to success.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. So what's in the future for you? Like you've owned a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
You're doing like the jujitsu. And so listen, man, let's just for a sec. I got to figure out something new in my exercise program, bro. Okay.
Right.
Like I grew up playing football.
Yeah.
So that consists of you do cardio and you do weights.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like I'm stuck in a rut.
Got it.
So let's just throw it out there for people that are in recovery or whatever, even some normies that are looking to change up their workout.
Yeah.
What recommendations do you have? Like what was the place that you talked about?
So Raven Self-Defense, the cool thing is that about there is like they'll do everything workout wise. I mean, they have weights.
They have weights and treadmills and all that?
They have all, they don't have treadmills, but they have weights, free weights and stuff like that. But like he does this one workout, and it's called 441. And you put on a pair of boxing gloves and you hit the bag 21 times as hard as you can. And you go down and do 21 push-ups, and you get back up, you hit the bag 21 times, and you go down and do 20 push-ups all the way
down to zero.
Man, I tell you what, dude, my shoulders and arms just from that itself spent, dude.
Yeah.
Can't even pick them up. But like that's what I lift weights, you know what I mean? And it does get repetitive in doing the same things, whatever. But I also have friends that own muddy water barbell and all of these different things that I like switching up and doing, so I don't get stuck in doing the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like listen, I love working out.
Yeah.
I think it keeps me physically healthy, keeps me mentally sharp, right?
Yes.
I believe when you start to get older, like I'm 35, you got to change up your workout. Like I ain't going in like I used to in my 20s and throwing 300 pounds on a bench press and trying to bench press it 5 times. Like I ain't trying to blow out a shoulder, bro.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I also want to do, I'm looking to do something a little bit different.
Got it.
So that would be ideal, right? Going in.
Most
what do they
definitely.
charge? What do these places charge?
So if you wanted to do just boxing, I think they charge $70. If you wanted to do boxing and jiu-jitsu, they charge $120 a month.
Got you.
Yeah. And
that's a little different than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
That's a little higher.
Yep. Yeah.
But you're getting different
you're getting
stuff.
5 days a week. You know what I mean? Monday through Friday, and it's been a big part of saving my life. Yeah. You know what I mean?
How did you get into fighting? Because I remember even when you were at Crossover.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hope you don't mind that I shared you with Crossover.
No, not at all.
When you went to Crossover, you were like, you were into the
fighting scene. Yeah. So this.
Well, you didn't fight anybody, but you'd like do the shadow boxing with people.
Yeah. So, I wrestled my whole life.
Yeah.
And my dad was a really great wrestler, so I wanted to obtain that. But when I moved to Utah in 2011, I started a bucket list of things I wanted to do before I was too old to do them, and then things before I died. Okay. And on my bucket list was just to do one MMA fight. And I ended up my best friend at the time, he wanted to do it too. We trained, and he got a fight. I got a fight, and a week before the fight, his dude dropped out. My dude dropped out from an injury, and we ended up fighting each other.
Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And you know, St. George News came down and they filmed the whole thing. They're like, best friends collide, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And made a whole thing out of it. And they interviewed me after, and Grady, his name's Grady, he said, you have to do another one. And I was like, and I will. And that was just the start of my amateur career. And it, you know, I got lucky and, you know, fought really good, and my name got out there and it got across the internet, and then I turned pro, did really great on my first pro fight, and I don't know, dude, I've used it to travel. It's what I'm best at. You know, like besides being
it's
a
your
dad,
zone, bro.
Yeah.
So you find
I'm not in there fighting. I'm in there playing chess. I'm in there
it's
dancing.
a mental
you know
game.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's fun to me. I enjoy it a lot.
What was your favorite fight
Ever?
That's
a hard one because it would bounce from boxing to MMA. But olden days would be Dan Henderson.
How old were you when you fought Dan?
Oh, you're talking about, I thought you were saying my favorite fight. Okay, so
Yeah, your
my
favorite. Well, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson was for sure everybody's.
Yeah,
the
that
dude
was
got
really
his ear
good.
bit twice.
Yeah. So I don't know. My favorite fight, I don't know. My most meaningful fight was the one I lost in my amateur career. It was in front of one of my hometowns in Vegas at the Thomas and Mack. It was in front of 16,000 people. I had broken my hand in my last fight, and it was out of the cast for a week. And I took the fight, only fight I ever took at 185, and I broke my hand in the first punch. And it's my only fight that's ever gone the distance. So I fought the whole time with the
first punch.
Yeah, fought the whole time with a broken
man.
hand. And I'm good friends with this dude ever since we fought. And
Does he know? Does he know you were fighting with a broke hand?
you know, I don't know if he ever knew or whatever, but the fight was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I had to have my hand fully reconstructed in titanium after that fight. I mean, the injury was vast.
That's not even fair, bro. You're fighting with titanium hands now, right? Like, no wonder why you went pro.
Right? But that was...
We got the steel fist literally sitting here in studio.
And that's like my favorite promotion to fight for, steel fist.
Steel fist? 'Cause you're like, yo, check it out.
Hey, man.
Got a
bionic.
reconstructive hand here.
Yeah. So, no, yeah, that's definitely my most meaningful fight. My first one back from, you know what I mean, in recovery, my last one a couple months ago was one of my favorite, you know. I fought a dude.
Sure, because you're back.
Yeah.
Back on the
It
scene.
was my back,
bro.
you know, welcome back fight. Dude had 20 pounds on me. I fought up at heavyweight. He was up in Salt Lake, and the dude was a monster, and it went very well for me.
So
know what I mean?
do you foresee the fighting thing turning into a career thing for you?
No,
Like, do you want to
absolutely
open a
not.
gym?
No,
do you want to?
I definitely want to be a part
train
of coaching
people?
for sure. I get so much enjoyment.
Why not open your own gym, man?
Maybe one day. I'm definitely dedicated to the gym that I go to and like helping get it going.
I can
you know what
respect
I
that.
mean? And so the MMA part of the gym is new, and it's kind of
How
like,
old's the dude that does it with you?
oh, he's old.
Bro, so work
Yeah.
it and then buy it from me.
And we've talked, and maybe, you know, if
One
that-
day you're going to rewatch this podcast
Yeah.
when you own that gym, and you're going to be like,
that
that's
would,
rad.
and that would be dope. But I'm just grateful to be a part of it right now and doing something that I love, because sharing like the knowledge that I have in that, which I feel like is a lot, and watching these guys pick it up, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like cool. So I do enjoy it. Career, no, I do it because I'm good at it.
Well, that's the ultimate life hack, though,
Yeah.
bro. Right? Like I love recovery.
Yeah.
And today I do a podcast about recovery.
Totally.
I work in recovery as a counselor.
Yeah.
Like, so I say this, and I'm always nervous that the owners of Steps are going to hear it and basically cut my salary. But, dude, I get paid to do this, right?
Yeah.
like maybe not this specifically, the
Yeah, I hear
podcast,
you.
but like I get paid to
So
work with
you've-
people and help people.
You've turned your dreams and your passions into
Yeah,
something.
man.
Yeah.
Like I don't sit there on Sunday night and go, oh, tomorrow I got to go to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the ultimate job, though, right? Something you love to
Yeah,
do
man.
and that you're passionate about.
Yeah, I think that it would be a phenomenal thing for you.
Totally.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and
And-
you're already doing it.
And working towards it for sure. Right now, I'm more so focusing on fighting and helping guys. But my main thing is to keep punching people.
Okay, so you're still in fight mode
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
still. I mean,
You got to shatter your other hand before you decide to hang it up and coach, or what?
Maybe. Maybe.
Bro, I like you. You're a little crazy. I like you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I get it. We're the same. We're the same fold.
I'm
man.
still at that point where I want to see how far I can take it. You know, I'm older in the fight scene or whatever, but I'm tough as nails, man. And I keep telling these guys, put me against the toughest dude you got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People respect that. They want to see a show, and it's fared so far. You know, I like putting on shows. It's fun.
I love it. Would you be up for training just an old 35-year-old fart like me? Like, you know what I mean? Bro, I just want to get shredded. Let's be honest. I just want to look like Rambo.
You want to come try it out for a couple weeks? Come try it out, man.
I want to look like Rambo in First Blood.
Yeah.
What would it take, Jesse?
Oh,
Rambo
genetics.
in First Blood.
Yeah.
No, I really do. I'm going to take you up on that. I'm going to come check it out. I'm going to come to the gym.
Yeah, it's a good time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, moving forward.
Yeah.
I understand you got a little one on the way.
Yeah, I do.
And of course, you know, I took the ultimate plunge.
Yes,
I'm
did.
rocking the ring.
Hey, and she's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you.
beautiful.
But don't turn this on me. This 57's about you,
Yeah,
bro.
okay.
57's about you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put the heat on.
All right.
So when you going to pop this question, bro?
Man, I'll tell you what, dude.
You got yourself a good lady. She stuck with you for 6 years,
She's
bro.
a good lady. The only thing that's held me back is I've never been able to afford a ring, man. And that's just the truth. Do I want to? Yeah, for sure.
Bro, you're a grinder.
Yeah.
You're in it right now.
Yeah.
You're working 2 jobs.
For sure.
You're doing the coaching thing. You got another job on the side, bro. Like, I can look at you and remember when I was grinding.
Yes.
And keep it up, man. Keep
Right
it up.
on.
Good things are in store for you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for coming on here, bro.
Totally.
I really
enjoyed
appreciate it. I hope you
sure.
did. I hope you had
Yeah.
some fun.
No, this has been cool.
All right, guys. Like, comment, share. Please share this thing out.
Thank you for joining us today on We Do Recover with Jared Miller.
Help us spread our message of hope. Like, comment, and share.
If you have any topics or ideas for future shows, please share that on our Facebook page.
That Facebook page is We Do Recover with Jared Miller. If you or a loved one needs help, please reach out to us. Again, thank you for listening.
Brought to you by Steps Recovery Center and the St. George Hilton Garden Inn. This has been a production from a podcast studio.